Welcome back to the IBSP. Here's your host, Boxing News.
Canelo Alvarez has two choices for May. Look, let's break it down honestly and objectively as possible. In Eddy Reynoso, Canelo Alvarez trainer and manager, has done a recent interview with Box Azteca. Now, in this interview, Eddy Reynoso states that, hey, there's two opponents vying for the Canelo Alvarez fight in May. The first one is William Scull, the IBF champion at 168 pounds. And the second guy is Christian Mbilli, who's the WBA and the WBC #1 ranked contender. So both of those are very, very interesting fights for Canelo Alvarez. When you look at both guys, both of these guys are undefeated. Both of these guys are young, hungry fighters. William Scull is the only one that's actually a champion. So if Canelo fights William Scull, he would actually be able to go undisputed yet again. Now, I don't know if Canelo cares enough for going undisputed again. I don't know if he wants to do that for a potential Crawford fight and have leverage. I don't know if that's a path he's truly interested in. We know that not many people know William Scull, and we know that that's not going to be a huge, huge fight as far as public interest. But on the other hand, Christian Mbilli, most people understand, at least boxing hardcore fans know who Christian Mbilli is. He has a little bit of a fan base. He has a little bit of a buzz compared to William Scull, and Christian Mbilli would be considered the harder fight between the two for Canelo Alvarez. Now, Canelo would be the favorite in both fights, but Christian Mbilli would likely be declared as a more competitive fight than a William Scull Canelo Alvarez fight. Now, one thing I will tell you is that, Christian Mbilli has a little bit of a buzz going for him, has a little bit of a name, and has a little bit of a fan base, and I think the Christian Mbilli fight would be more exciting, but there is no world title attached to a Christian Mbilli fight. There's nothing Canelo would gain from him, but it's a more sellable fight. It's a fight where people will see a lot of action. People would be very excited for it because Christian Mbilli has a high motor, throws a lot of punches, and he does not stop coming forward. So I think that would be a very, very fan-friendly fight. Canelo versus Christian Mbilli, a young, undefeated, hungry fighter, #1 contender for the WBC and the WBA. I think people would much rather have Canelo Christian Mbilli than Canelo Scull. But make no mistake, Canelo Scull would still make history. If Canelo fights William Scull, he could go undisputed for the second time at 168 pounds, and that would make history. So there's really no wrong choice, but I think the choice that most people would prefer would be Christian Mbilli.